Yes, thank you, Diana. Okay, all right, I'm on, I think. Welcome, everybody. Let me welcome you to the Asian Americans Network on Clubhouse. We started out in April 2021 out of Santa Clara, Silicon Valley, California. But on Clubhouse, of course, we are much more open. So we are an open public space for Asian Americans and also for anyone who appreciates Asian culture or who works with Asians. The space is designed to be safe and inclusive, so all participants can share experience and share stories, can network, share and learn, support each other, and also connect and do business together. In the past, our weekly programs have covered public narratives, cross-cultural art projects, Asians being visible and Asians speaking out, and also covered Fremont, Happy City in the US, and much more. So Asian Americans Network on Clubhouse is sponsored by Ding Ding TV and the Innovation Channel. And with that, I'm going to pass back on to Diana so we can introduce the topic for today.
Han, I think that you're, thank you, Han. Yeah, I think that we're going to have Sandy to set the room. Thank you, Han.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, I'd like to invite Sandy to come up and now and set the room for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Han. Thank you very much. Thank you, Diana. And hello, everyone. Welcome to Asian American Network. Today's event is a total of 1.5 hours. We will open Q&A after the guest sharing. Please feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions or if you want to echo and make a comment. We will invite you to the stage. So this event is co-organized by Silicon Valley Innovation Channel, Ding Ding TV, and India Currents, and the National Asian American United, San Francisco Community Alliance for United Safety and Education. Thank you very much. So I will pass the microphone to Diana. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy, and thanks to everyone. We're so happy that we have Joe and Dennis and Han and Sandy and Vandana together talking about this topic. And I hope that later on more people will be able to join us together. A little bit about our speakers today. Vandana is the owner and publisher of Indian Currents, a very, I would say trustworthy, influential media in whole, I would say not only United States, but also in the international for 30 years. And she's a good friend of mine. We've been working together for civic leadership Silicon Valley for nearly 3 years. So thanks to Vandana for such an inspiring friends. And next one I want to recognize is Dennis Wu. Dennis Wu, he is the president of San Francisco Community Alliance for Unity, Safety, and Education. And he's also the former president of Commonwealth Club. Not only that, we got to know each other not too long, but I have learned a lot from him. He's truly the pioneer in our community regarding the civic leadership. And Joe is the president of National Asian American United. And Joe is also my mentor and the co-producer for Ding Ding TV's show and our editor. So we're so honored to have Joe here. And Han, I've been working with Han for many years. Han is a community leader and also a professor. We work together at Silicon Valley Central Chamber of Commerce. And Han is a co-producer for this Asian Americans Network together with Sandy. And Sandy is a COO of Ding Ding TV, and she's been working with me for over 10 years. She's very experienced in the event organizing and communication. So I want to thanks to everyone who's been here on the stage and talking about this important issue. With that, I'm going to transfer the microphone to Vandana to give us a little background about why we do this today. Vandana, please go ahead.
Thank you, Sandy, for that generous introduction. I'd like to actually take a moment to share a little bit more about what India Currents does. You know, the whole reason we were founded over 3 decades ago in 1987 is because we didn't see people like me, reflected in the media. There was nobody telling our stories. And that's the reason India Currents started. And we have been, over the last 3+ decades, we've been documenting stories about the Indian immigration to the Silicon Valley. Now, our community is more mature. You know, we've been around for a little longer. And I realized that in some ways, there is comfort in staying in your silos and in your cocoons. And we need to push every member to participate in the world that we live in, beyond the personal, beyond the home front. How can we get engaged in the civic community around us? And it's towards this effort that for the last 3 years, Diana and I have been working together to make sure the larger Asian community participates in the various opportunities that are presented to us. And today we are talking about the recall election. Whether it's recall, whether it's any election, I think it is vital that everyone participates and everyone realizes that every vote matters. How can we push that? And how can we tell, regardless of your party affiliation, regardless of what you think, it's important, it's really important to register your vote. And it's towards that effort that we are talking today to make sure that people are aware of their rights as citizens and also this awesome responsibility that we have in creating the kind of community we want to live in. So I do appreciate, thank you so much to Joel, Dennis, Diana, everyone who's made the time to come and speak about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Vandana. Thank you so much. Yes, it's really important. So that's why I invited a very experienced and knowledgeable speaker to participate. Next, I would like to invite Joe to share with us why is this happened and how did California get here? So Joe, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Diana. I'm honored to join this distinguished group to talk about this recall. First of all, what is a recall? A recall election is a procedure by which voters can remove elected official from office for referendum before the official term of office has ended. In total, 19 states in the United States permit the recall election for governors and other state officials. Gubernatorial recall seemed to be a state pastime in California. I say this because every governor elected since 1968, including Ronald Reagan, was targeted by recall attempts. So this is nothing new. How successful has the recall movement been in the United States? Only 2 governors has ever been successfully recalled. In 1921, Governor Lynn Fraser of North Dakota was recalled. And in 2003, our California Governor Davis Gray Davis was recalled over the state budget. Additionally, in 1988, a recall was approved against Governor of Arizona, but he was impeached and convicted before the ballot. So far, only 2 governors have been recalled in the history of the United States. Now, why are people upset over our present governor and tried this recall? Well, he has been recalled for many reasons, including the homelessness, the educational system, too much taxes. Any reason you can think of, that is the reason they want to recall him. Now, the thing that really precipitated this recall was our Governor Newsom, after he has told people not to gather together and have, during the pandemic, he hosted the party in the French Kitchen, which is a very high-class establishment in Upper Valley. And the news leaked out that although he told people not to gather together to enjoy dinners and so on, he hosted a party at the French Kitchen, and that's why people were upset. Now, how can we call a governor? All you really need to do is to have 12% of the voters in 5 counties, in all the counties in California. If you can reach 12% of the voter wanting to have a recall in 5 counties, that is enough reason, enough votes to have the recall. So on September 14, the recall is going to take place. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. There are really only 2 questions. One is, do you agree with the recall? And if you say yes, if you say no, then that's the end of it. You don't have to do anything else. If you say yes, then you have a choice of people that you want to vote to replace governor. And so far, there are almost 4 dozen candidates, including Democrats, Republican, and Independent, are running for to take the place of Governor Newsom. And there is one other thing I want to add, and that is, in all, there are about 1.5 million ballot signatures calling for the recall. So those are the background of the recall, and those are the reasons why we're having this recall elections. So I will stop talking now and yield the podium to the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. Yes, the next speaker will be Dennis Wu, and Dennis will share with us what does this mean to you and me and to our state. And yes, Dennis, go ahead, please.
So am I on?
Yes, your mic is on. Yes, getting closer to the microphone. Go ahead.
So good morning, everybody. I've had a long journey with regards to getting involved in politics. When I was in college, I talked about at Berkeley, told my mother I was thinking about studying poli-sci. She said to me, a good Chinese son does not get involved in politics. So I didn't do that. And instead I went into business, I became an accountant, became a CPA. And I focused on my business career. I focused on getting along and being successful in what I will call the white man's world, learning how to be successful in America in a business successfully. I was the first president of the Commonwealth Club of non-white, second youngest person. I was on the chamber board, ballet board, trustee of the Asian Art Museum. By and large, I did what all the white guys did. And I did that because I wanted to demonstrate that we belong, that we do belong, and that we can be successful, in the hopes that it would create opportunities for others following me. So a number of years ago, I don't know, maybe it was 30 years ago, I was on the chamber board, and Willie Brown, who many of you know of, Speaker of the House Assembly, got elected mayor of San Francisco. He went to Chinatown, raised a lot of money in Chinatown. And after he got elected, he did not appoint any Asians, Chinese to any important positions. And we asked them on the chamber board, it's a white chamber board, basically. There are a few of us Asians. So why not, Willie? And Willie, for those of you who've seen him, stood up, and looked around, and he just said, they don't matter. Couldn't believe that came out of his mouth. He paused, and he smirked, and he said, yeah, they don't matter. Well, I've come to realize Willie did all that with all attention, and he paused. We were all shocked. And Willie says, because they don't vote. And I've talked about that since then, and I do believe it's a truism. San Francisco, the last census, we're 33% of population APIs. 33% by any calculation is a very significant part of the population. We Chinese alone are 15%, but we don't matter. We really don't matter. I've had some recent experiences. My son is on the dragon boat team at Lowell High School. When I first went out to pick him up, I saw this beautiful concrete building. And I thought that they were in the lake there. And I watched for 10 minutes. A boat came out. And they looked like a bunch of Asians because I knew the dragon boat was almost 1,000 Asian kids in San Francisco. They were white kids. And then I heard some noises, and I looked at my back, and there was a Lowell team in the back. Now, this is a team that has been a champion team year after year after year. And I started seeing the disparity in the facilities that the public school, Lowell kids, Asian kids, and the Lincoln kids, the Washington kids, Balboa kids, Galileo kids, all the kids, Asian kids, we have crappy facilities. SI, St. Ignatius, private school. Over 50% of them are not. If our kids have to use the toilet, they have to go across the street and use that facility. It came to be that the debt that they were using was deteriorating. I learned much later, a year later, when I was asked to testify, that debt had been deteriorating down to 1/4 of what it was when it first started. We had to go to City Hall, and I had to be part of testimony and practically begging for us to get $1 million just to fix that debt from a white guy in charge of the place, because he didn't give a shit. I'm sorry to use that word, but I'm angry. A few months later, San Francisco was going to vote. This just happened last November on a city bond of over $350 million. A lot of work was put in. That $1 million for fixing the Merced deck was part of that. I got a call from a wonderful lady named Annie Chung, who's devoted her life to taking care of the elderly. She called me, she was in tears. She said, Dennis, The proposal came out. It's been approved by the Board of Supervisors. But Portland Square is not in there. For those of you who know San Francisco, Portland Square is where our senior citizens live in. It's 1 square block. Our seniors are there. They go out there for fresh air. They play games there. They need $3.5 million. It was left out. Totally left out. Why? I guess Ginsburg doesn't give a shit. And other people did. Nobody's watching it. So we talked and says, well, I said, you got to talk to the supervisor. So she did. She went and talked to Aaron Peskin. And our supervisor did do something. In fact, I had lunch with him yesterday and commended and complimented him. He basically told the mayor, if you don't put that money in there, I'm going to vote against the approval of putting that on a ballot. Because his district is predominantly almost 50% Chinese, and he knew he better put it in. And he got put in, and the whole ballot got passed. But the point I'm trying to make is because our people don't vote, nobody cares. Visitation Valley in San Francisco is the poorest of the poor of our people. Over 54% of people, I think approximately, are APIs. That's where a lot of the attacks on seniors are happening. Yes, they were happening in Chinatown, but they were captured on private cameras. Every one of them private, not city cameras. We want to put cameras in the Visitation Valley. We want to do safety stuff. This is SF cause. We can't get the attention of supervisor, Shimon Williams. He didn't care. So where does this bring us to everything we're talking about? San Francisco, the last census, again, as I said earlier, we're 33.7% of the population. The blacks, by the way, are 5.2, Hispanics are 15.6. The whites are only 39.1, contrary to what people may think. When you add up all the minorities, we really are the majorities. Santa Clara, where Silicon Valley is, Asians are 38.9%, Hispanics are 25.2%. Alameda, 32% Asians, 23.4%. San Mateo, Asians are 29.8%, Hispanics are 25%. I ask you, either one of us have a voice. Why don't we have a voice? I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't vote, and we need to vote. So what I'm talking about today is with regards to recall. Do you know that on this recall, the extent that people don't come out to vote, all it takes is 51% of the voters, 51 of the people who vote, not registered voters, people who vote, to recall the governor. All right, well, you may have your quarrel with the governor. I have my quarrel with the governor. But we recall this governor. There are over 40 candidates. They haven't all been vetted. 40 candidates plus whoever gets the largest percentage of votes. So I was looking at the data. The highest that I ever saw, someone said maybe possibly 36%. As low as same individual, I've also seen 26%. Well, 36% of 51%, meaning you have that 51% of no, is 18.3% of the total voters. Only the people who vote. And if it's 26%, that gets on to 13.26%. Are we prepared to leave the future of our state in the hands of 13 to 18% of the people who voted? And if less than 15% of the people vote, we're talking about, you guys, 6.5% to 9% of the people, the voters, the registered voters. That's the big of the population. So I say that we have no choice in this election, but to vote no on the recall. Because, you know, if you got quarrels with Gavin, you got quarrels with the gubernatorial election is up next year in November. They'll start campaigning in January. All right, let's have a debate about who we really want then. If we don't like Gavin, then let's do that at that time. But let's not allow our governorship be hijacked. And many of these people have some outlandish ideas. They believe that the leading guy doesn't believe in math. He doesn't believe in vaccinations. You know that that's the only reason that more of us are not dead because of vaccinations. You realize that people who are hospitalized right now are basically the people who are not vaccinated. So anyway, please vote, all right? And get your friends to vote. Let's not surrender our state to very, very small minority fanatics. That's all I have to say. Hope it's enough.
Dennis, thank you so much. That was so powerful. And the story you shared with us, that is really the lesson we should learn. And we care. We want to show this, the community that we care. It's not we don't care. And we want our voice to be heard. Thank you so much, Dennis. And Dennis actually, he just got his Clubhouse yesterday afternoon. It's the first time he get on Clubhouse and first time he spoke on Clubhouse. I truly admire.
I was nervous that I didn't get on.
Well, yesterday we were talking on Zoom and show him how to get on Clubhouse. I truly admire that he's truly an inspiration to all of us. So let's follow Dennis, and he has a lot to share with us, the wisdom, his knowledge, and truly the great mentor for me and for many of us. So with that, I'm going to invite Sandy to reset the room once more, and Han is going to lead the Q&A section after that. Sandy, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Dana. Hello everyone, welcome to Asian American Network. Today's event is total of 1.5 hours. So from now, we're going to open Q&A session. Please feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions, or if you want to echo each of the speaker or make a comment. We will invite you to the stage. Please follow us by clicking the greenhouse beside the club name. You will get the event detailed information after we post it each time. This is Sandy. I'm done speaking. Over to Han. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Yes, just a little bit. Yes, when you click the greenhouse, you will become the member automatically. So anyone who really care about the issues for Asian Americans, and you're welcome to join us. Even though you're not Asian Americans, but you are also our friends. You are all welcome to join us. And we organize events every week. Ding Ding TV is the voice of Silicon Valley Asian American. And we've been creating the content and organizing events. Before pandemic, we organized 86 events in 2019. During the pandemic, we did a lot of events online. We have an event venue in Santa Clara, so anyone want to work with us, you're welcome. So next, I'm going to hand over the microphone to my good friend Han and open the Q&A. And we have so many great speakers here. I want to hear your opinion on this too. Thank you, Han. Go ahead.
Thank you, Diana, and thank you, everyone. Especially thank you, Joel and Dennis, for introducing the whole topic to us and bringing your expertise and experience to answer